Hi everyone, this is Mrs. Belcher from the counseling office. This video is for students who need to create a Parchment account for the first time. So this would be any current freshmen as well as any new students to our building. A Parchment account is where you will go anytime you need a copy of your transcript during high school, when you need a transcript potentially for applying to colleges or scholarships, or sometimes you might need it when you're applying for a job. Even after you graduate, you'll always go back to your Parchment account anytime you need a copy of your transcript. For those of you who may not know exactly what's included on a transcript, I have an example here to show you quickly. A transcript, actually, usually at the top, there's some demographic information about who you are, your address, date of birth, things like that. I didn't include that on here because I didn't want to share who the student was for confidentiality purposes. But I did want to give you just a quick view of what that would look like. This transcript would be for a 10th grader who is in their fall semester of 10th grade. So they already have all of their 9th grade courses that they took last year on here and their semester grades. Just a reminder, the only grades or letter grades that factor into your transcript are your final semester grades. So your quarter grades and the grades that you earned on your final exam don't show up on your transcript, but they obviously factor into your semester grades. Also, any high school courses that were earned during middle school would also show up. So you can see, for example, this student earned their preparing for college and career credit during their time in the middle school. Some students might have some other classes listed under middle school as well. And then once each semester is completed, then your grades for that semester will show up at the end of the semester. And depending on the time of the year, your in progress courses may show up on your transcript as well. So like I said, for example, this transcript is for a student who was in 10th grade during the fall, and it does show the IP right here is their in progress courses. Also on your transcript, once you've completed at least one full semester here at Yorktown, then your GPA, your grade point average, will show up, and then your class rank as well. So this is an example of what a high school transcript would look like. All right, so let's begin by creating your account. You should have a link to get into Parchment in your module here today. The link that you have should take you to a page that looks similar to this. Right here in the middle, it has these little pictures. If you're an existing user or already have an account, you really shouldn't be watching this video. You should be watching a different video, but just in case that's you, you would go ahead and put in your email address and password. But for the purposes of this video, we are going to click on a new learner account. You're going to click on that and scroll down just a little bit, and then you're going to put in some information. You do not have a registration code. It should already be clicked that way, but you want to make sure that first little bubble is clicked that you do not have a registration code. And then you're going to start typing in your information. You're going to put in your date of birth, your gender. Okay, next you are going to enter in your start year and the last year attended. So for this, there's going to be a little cheat sheet in the module for you, but at the time I'm making this video, the current freshman, if you're a current freshman, your start year would be 2023. And the last year you will be attending high school for your cohort would be the year 2027. So you want to make sure that your freshman year is the start year, and the year in which you will be graduating, your cohort will be graduating, is the last year attended. And we have a little cheat sheet in the module for you too, if you need help figuring out what those years are. The highest level of education, I'm going to pretend I'm a 9th grader for this video, but make sure you put the last grade that you attended. So if you're 9th grader, the highest level of education you have so far is middle school. And then you're going to go ahead and put in your email address, and you're going to create your own password. For the email address, you can use a personal email address, or you can use your Yorktown High School email address. Just know that if you use your Yorktown High School email address, when you get to be a senior, you will need to change that because you will lose that email address after you graduate. But like I said, you can use a personal one, or you can use your Yorktown High School email address here. And then for your password, it must be at least 7 characters long, but you can use a password you already know or use frequently, or you can create your own. Just make sure you remember what it was or what it is. And then you're going to type that in twice. And then you can answer how you want to down here. It says, I'm interested in being discovered by colleges, universities, or other organizations. You can click yes or no to that. And then once you have all that information typed in, then you're going to hit sign up. Okay, the next part is that they are going to email you a verification code. So you can't finish your account until you can access your code. So if you use your own personal email account, you should be able to get into that just for today. Typically, you're not allowed to get into other accounts, but you should be able to today. I think we've set it up with the technology department that you're able to get into that. So you're going to find your verification code. If you use your Yorktown email address, then you would go to your Gmail account in your email, and you should be able to get your verification code there. And don't use the same code I'm using because they would have sent you a different code. But once you get that code, you're going to type that in and hit submit. Okay, once you hit submit, it should bring you to this next screen where you're choosing your privacy settings. This next part is about waiving your rights to the school secondary reports and other recommendations. So there are times when within your Parchment account, let's say you apply to a college your senior year and someone needs to write you a letter of recommendation, or your counselor needs to complete your secondary school report for you. If you waive your right to access, that means you're granting permission for the counselor or for your letter for your recommender to submit information about you that is private that you cannot view. You might ask, why would I want to do that? And you can read in here, it does talk about it, that some receiving schools will give more weight to recommendations and completed school summary reports where the student has agreed that the documents will be private and the student will not view them. So you can choose here. Most people should choose I waive my right to access, but you can choose how you want here. But typically most students you really should probably select I waive my right to access, but you can read through that and choose. And then you're going to hit save and continue. Okay, these other parts of the creating an account are something you can complete at a different time. You don't actually have to fill it out to fully have access to Parchment, but you can if you'd like to. It does talk about if you complete the rest of this, that will help colleges and scholarship programs discover you if you did select that you want them to be able to discover you on that first part of the application. Okay, so at this point you have officially created your account. Like I said, you can go through and do some of these other steps if you would like, but you don't have to in order to get access to your transcript. So what I would want you to do now is go click on the dashboard up at the top. And from here on out, this is pretty much what it's going to look like when you log in. We will have a separate video that talks about how to actually order your transcript, but that is it for the video about how to create your Parchment account. If you did have any trouble today, you would want to reach out to Mrs. Stone in the counseling department. Her email address is D as in Debbie, Stone, S-T-O-N-E, at yorktown.k12.in.us, or you can stop by the counseling office if you had any issues. Thank you. Have a good rest of the day.